Please don't let this video get copyrighted. I really don't want to risk making another Google Drive again. Oh, we're recording? Great. So my initial video on the big fix was copyright claimed by YouTube and resulted in me having to create a Google Drive for my viewers to watch it in its entirety. And if this one gets claimed as well, you'll know where to find it. As you know, I hated this episode. It just didn't really grab me. Hell, it was one of the worst Integrity Farms episodes I've ever seen. Hell, me and my friend were talking about it on the phone last night. Yeah, that episode was so horrible. I mean, we had enough of Integrity Farms with all the specials and exclusive events. Why do we need to see them again? Yeah, and don't get me started on the whole Tolkien thing. But it seems like there was some light at the end of this dark and slimy tunnel this past week. The trailer for this week's episode actually seemed promising. I mean, you've got Cartman being a total douchebag and venting to Butters about his, quote, problems, and quite possibly relying on him to stop whatever may come. Will it recover from last week's dumpster fire of an episode? We shall see. Also, yes, I'm aware that Valentine's Day was on Monday. I just wanted to dress up for this episode simply because I wanted to. Plus, this is my show and I get to do what I want. Anyways, it's time for us to review City People. So we start off with an introduction to South Park realtors, and having a brief shot of the employees having over-the-phone consultations with potential customers. Wait, why does that one look like the My Pillow guy? The CEO then mentions that there's been more demand coming from the city folk and there aren't enough employees to handle them all. Enter Leanne. Ah yes, one of my favorite moms next to Carol McCormick. So I guess my dad was right when he saw the images for the episode. Leanne is applying to be a realtor despite having literally no experience. I mean, if you've had to wait on your lard-ass son for over 20 years, you'd want to get a real job too. Leanne mentioned that she's applying for this job to try to earn extra money to keep her house, owing to the rent going up thanks to new people moving into South Park as of late. The CEO then says he's giving her the job so she doesn't wind up living on the streets. And there's our men of the hour. Okay, when I first saw the promotional image, I thought Cartman had smeared feces on his face, but it was actually Nutella. So I guess my mind is even more corrupted than I thought. Leanne comes home from grocery shopping and is about to break the news to her son, and knowing Cartman, we're all pretty sure how he's gonna react. Caca Fingers is obviously upset because his mommy won't have to wait on him hand and foot anymore. But this is one of those times where he has no control over the situation and we'll all have to watch him suffer. Which is satisfying as fuck to me. Cartman, desperate for help and most likely wanting someone else to wait on him, turns to Butters in his so-called crisis. Also, what's he got in that bag? My dad and I have both speculated that Cartman would start delivering pizzas. Guess we're about to find out. Butters sympathizes with Eric, likely because, to some people, change is hard to adapt to. Then again, Cartman's a lazy piece of shit, but whatever. Okay, she is not dumb as shit. If she were dumb as shit, would she have climbed into that fighting ring and help you get an attempt to get you vaccinated? No! Okay, so the mystery bag is finally revealed. Cartman, being Cartman, relies on reality television to gain information about being a real estate agent. Which I'm pretty certain is not how it works. And, oh, yeah, that's a really great picture. Not. So we cut to Leanne's first day on the job. She'll be meeting up with a family from New York who are interested in buying a house. And it seems like Matt and Trey's spectacular writing comes into play. The family are more interested in the nearest gym rather than actually investing in the house. Really pushing it on that hoity-toity New Yorker trait. Really loving it. I smell competition. Cartman and Leanne run into each other with their own clients who are invested in buying a house. Leanne asks what kind of shit her son pulled out of his ass this time, only for Cartman to tell her that he signed up as a real estate agent. I'm very curious on how they allowed a 10-year-old to work in that sort of field. Unless Cartman lied and said that he was a 20-year-old midget, which seems possible. Cut to the South Park Chamber of Commerce, where our beloved mayor discusses the overwhelming outreach by the city people. And we've got a whole bunch of guys who are in on this. We got Jimbo, Mr. Mackey, whoever you are. Oh yeah, City Walk Guy too. I knew he was going to play a part in this episode. City Walk Guy explains about his experiences with, well, city people. Honestly, I really want to use the accent, but I'll probably get cancelled for being racist. And McDaniels mentions for the first time in a while about how much she's wanted to make South Park more than just a little hick town. Her words, not mine. We then cut to Cartman giving his customers a tour of Tweek's house, interrupting the family's lunch and walking in on an old lady trying to use the John. And this is why we lock our doors! Plus the furniture sucks anyway. Back at SPR, the business is losing clients to Cartman's real estate group. I mean, that kid's a master manipulator, so of course it's no surprise that this will prove fatal. Cue some hilarious disaster photoshoot where everyone winds up breaking their spine in the process. That was pretty funny, by the way. And here come the idiots, flocking in to get a piece of the pie. Leanne then receives a call from her son about an offer on the house. Which house? My guess is maybe their house? We'll find out soon enough, I guess. This scene had me at the edge of my seat with the two Cartmans at each other's throats. Leanne actually having a fucking backbone in this episode, which is something worth applauding. A population of the city people has gone berserk, with the writing staff making them out to be like an overpopulation of pigeons. Reminds me a lot of that King of the Hill episode with the pigeon infestation. Thanks a lot, Bill. But the chamber is then hit with a devastating truth. The overpopulation could hurt their economy. It is then that Mayor McDaniels then declares open season on real estate agents. Getting back to Cartman and his business, he is hosting an open house at Tolkien's house. Now this really irked me at first because he pronounces it Token and not Tolkien. Even though it has been established that his name was Tolkien all along though. But looking back on it now, I'm starting to think that this was only used for comedic purposes only. Tensions rise when Leanne arrives on the scene and goes after her son. This ought to be good. Back to that open season plot, our exterminators arrive on scene and are ready to fire. But it looks like things are already going downhill health-wise. The realtors have tried to retake their photos, breaking all their spines once more in the process. Cartman and Leanne are at each other's throats with this Tolkien business. Cartman declares that he won't be going for Leanne's deal, as if that's the least of his fucking problems at this point. Leanne then preaches the truth that her son just wants her fired so he can have her undivided attention once more. What was once a quiet open house turns into a crime scene straight from hell. The two then barricade behind a counter, and Leanne offers to quit her job if her son stopped his pretty successful business practices. I mean, the least you could do is probably join him as a realtor, but I guess this was just so Cartman could have his way. The city people leave town, and South Park goes back to normal. Minus Leanne and Eric having to live in a giant hot dog. Now my thoughts on the episode. Oh my god, this was hilarious. Even better than Pajama Day. Hell, I'd even consider it leagues above Pajama Day. The plot was amazing. It was once again one of Cartman's hilariously elaborate schemes, and Mayor McDaniels got a pretty big role in the episode.